Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, here in Santa Clara, California, at 7th Cloud Expo Silicon Valley, day 4, the first ever, it should be said, the first ever day 4 of a Cloud Expo. This is the biggest expo we've ever put together so far. I promise we won't make it 2 weeks in the summer when we're in New York, but it may well again be 4 days. Last keynote, absolutely not least keynote, is Microsoft, this bright and early keynote. Thank you for joining us out there on the World Wide Web as well. Eron Kelly, take us through this future of Office 365. It's all new to me, so I'm going to listen up and let's say good morning to Eron Kelly.
Great, thank you.
Today, Office is on over 1 billion PCs around the world, and 40 million customers are paying for Microsoft Cloud services. But really, this is just the beginning. Office 365 lets us take our Office suite and all of the servers that go along with it and move those to the cloud with a world-class productivity service that really will define the next generation of productivity.
No other online service can provide the rich productivity capabilities of Office 365. The ease of use and depth of services of Office, combined with the communication and collaboration capabilities of Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, and Lync Online, deliver incredible benefits for organizations of all sizes.
For the first time, companies of all sizes can really get to enterprise-class software integrated together the way we designed it.
I'm personally excited about the new service that we're introducing to professionals and small businesses. Businesses that do not have formal IT staff, but have big business needs for communication and collaboration. Small businesses need to be able to have services that are easy to use and easy to use quickly. With the introduction of Office 365, we are providing a service that enables small businesses to get up and running in a matter of minutes.
I used to be a Microsoft CIO, and Office 365 is exactly the product I wanted to see as a CIO. An online service that I could rely on that had enterprise-class capabilities that could serve my users around the world. Office 365 means that we are there for you 365 days a year, 7 by 24. Whether that's the service, the reliability of the service, the availability, or support for you. We have financially backed uptime guarantees that gives you money back if we don't meet our commitments to you.
One of the things I love is that I can share my work with others through the broadcast capabilities of PowerPoint. Right from within PowerPoint, I'm able to initiate a broadcast that's accessible to my colleagues, whether they're working on a PC or accessing the information from a mobile device.
With SharePoint Online, there's just so many wonderful collaboration scenarios that we're unlocking for our customers. One of my personal favorites is the My Site capabilities, where every employee in an organization has their own personal site that they get to customize. They can add their documents, they can add status updates for what they're working on. And some people really think of it as sort of a Facebook for the enterprise, where you get your own place to share what's going on, and then other people can comment on what you're doing, can follow you, can tag your information, and it really just makes it so easy for people to find each other in an organization and connect and collaborate in ways that they never could before.
I love the powerful capabilities of Exchange Online. They not only help me be more productive in organizing the mail that I receive, managing my inbox to be more effective, manage my calendar with partners and colleagues, no sacrifice.
A great example of how the power of the rich client like Office and the power of the back-end servers like SharePoint or Lync comes together is a scenario that we would often refer to as co-authoring. That is when you're using Word 2010 or PowerPoint 2010, multiple people can open the same document all at the same time.
One of the things I love about Lync is that it enables people and businesses to work across distances. The ability to have that very simple capability to have PC-to-PC audio or video conversations, the ability to have presence in instant message capabilities to enable me to work with people around the world. very powerful capabilities delivered with Office 365.
At the core, Office 365 helps you save money, and it makes you far more productive. The really exciting thing is that Office 365 delivers our products the way we intended them to be delivered, integrated together and providing the richest capabilities you can possibly imagine across end users' PCs, their phones, and their browsers. Learn more today by signing up for the beta at office365.com, or you can talk to one of our 16,000 partners, or follow us and stay engaged on Facebook and Twitter.
All right. Well, I thought I'd start us off with a video this morning just so you could see really the full surface area of Office 365, which we see as the future of productivity. So my name is Eron Kelly, and I run the product management team in the Office 365 group. And probably the first thing you're asking yourself is, well, wait a second. When I was looking at the syllabus for the conference a few weeks ago, I thought this session was supposed to be about the future of BPOS. That's what I thought I was coming to. And so if you didn't notice, about 2 weeks ago, we announced sort of the next version of BPOS and the future of productivity as Office 365. It turns out we were a little bit embarrassed and kind of ashamed by all the wonderful marketing awards and branding awards we were receiving on the term BPOS. It was starting to kind of get to us. So we thought instead of continuing with that wonderful brand, that we would focus on really delivering in the name what at its core what this service was about, which is about productivity in Office and about delivering that productivity 365 days a year. So as we think about the trends that are driving changes in how we deliver productivity solutions, there's a couple of key things that we see happening across the industry. Now, we've been doing productivity for several decades, and so we've got a pretty good sense of what users have wanted in the past. And as we look forward, these sort of 5 core forces are what's driving changes that lead to the future. So first and foremost, we see consumerization of IT and the kinds of tools that consumers are using in their daily lives to communicate and collaborate is really starting to drive trends and changes in what's delivered in IT. The panel earlier this morning actually talked at length about this, about how tools that are being delivered for consumers are making changes in how people work in the enterprise. Now, when you think about the new users that come into an enterprise, you've got young workers that are used to new tools like Facebook, like Twitter, as ways of collaborating. And then there's a slightly older generation that grew up with things like email as a tool to communicate and collaborate within their environment. And so when you have those two groups of people, 2 generations of workers trying to work together and collaborate, it's important that the tool set supports both and does it in a way that makes it easy for people to get on board and use the technology. But this creates real stress on the infrastructure within IT, because now IT's got to have the latest features, they've got to have the latest applications, and during tough economic times, which you certainly have gone through and are continuing to go through, headcount cut costs, infrastructure cut costs, those kinds of things make it harder and harder for organizations to support the latest and greatest capabilities. Of course, the economy continues to be more and more global, and this notion of maybe a decade ago where you had an information worker was sitting in their office, they were working their 8 hours a day, their 40 hours a week, and it was pretty predictable where they were and what kind of tool set they'd be using. That's all changed. It's a global economy. That same information worker is going to spend time in their office on their PC. They're going to spend time at home on a PC or maybe a non-IT owned PC where they only have access through a browser to their data information. Or more and more likely, they're actually on a mobile device. Many of you in the room have a mobile device. You're using that to manage your email. You're using that to get to your calendar, your contacts, etc. So that ability to deliver productivity tools anywhere at any time is becoming more and more table stakes, frankly, in this market. And then finally, and the reason why we're all here today, is the rise of the cloud. The cloud has really taken off in a very, very rapid fashion across many aspects of the industry, and that's certainly been true in the productivity space.
And so when you combine the rise of the cloud, which really allows vendors now to provide both their technology through the benefits of both economies of scale and economies of skill, it allows vendors to deliver a richer set of technologies, and it is really driving how productivity is going to change in the next decade. And it's not just it's not just vendors, it's not just Microsoft, it's not just other the players in the space that are saying this and seeing this. It's also many of the customers. If we look at some of our large enterprise customers that are using our cloud services, they're echoing these things. They're talking about the new workers coming in and how their habits are changing, how they use instant messaging a lot more frequently than they do email as a way of collaborating within an organization. And so those changes are powerful, they're happening. The cost savings associated with going to the cloud are very real and very tangible, and it's driving decisions within enterprise and mid-market customers. And then certainly the global marketplace continues to be important. And there were some quotes earlier this morning about the number of assets and the number of applications that are moving to the cloud from many of the analysts out there, and that continues to be true. So as we look forward and we think about the types of cloud services that being applied to this problem, we really see them in three buckets. We see infrastructure as a service, we see platform as a service, so that ability for developers to start to build apps on a platform and make that a cloud service that's on demand. And then finally, software as a service. This is where you're actually delivering an application directly to an end user so they can consume it. And Office 365 really sits in that SaaS category. It really is an application as a service that can be directly consumed by end users to move their business forward. And so what is Office 365? Well, what it is essentially all we know about productivity delivered as a single cloud service. So it's the rich features of the Office client combined with the Office web applications, so that's things like Word and PowerPoint and Excel delivered in a browser. It's Exchange for email, calendaring, contacts, again, all delivered as a cloud service. It's SharePoint, team sites, collaboration, content management, workflow, BI, again as a cloud service. And then finally Link Online, instant messaging presence, web conferencing, click-to-chat, voice and video conferencing, all delivered again as an integrated cloud service. And from our perspective, what's exciting about this is historically, the Microsoft model of delivering software has been, we give you a great engine, we give you a great chassis, maybe there's a good-looking a body and some tires, but you as an IT group had to put it all together to create the car. Well, now with Office 365, we actually put it all together for you and deliver as a service, so you get to use the products as they were intended. You get to use the latest versions of the products working seamlessly together. So what's some of the value? Well, first and foremost, it's about delivering this integrated experience to businesses of all sizes. When we talk to large enterprise customers, the thing that I hear more often than not is email, these collaboration tools, they're mission critical for me to get my business done, but they're not differentiated. And that was certainly something that the panel talked about this morning as well. If you think about the number of finite human resources you have within an IT organization, you want to put those resources on very, very specific business problems that are unique to your vertical or your industry, your geography. Things like email and collaboration, although mission critical, they're not necessarily differentiating unless you're not really on the latest stuff. And so more and more, even large enterprises are asking for, hey, just do this for me, keep it up, keep it working, and I'm going to focus my resources in other places. In the case of small businesses, they've never actually had access to this kind of technology. They've never had the skills, they've never had the money to really take advantage of it. And so Office 365 is also about taking things that used to require pretty robust IT teams or IT deployments and delivering it as a cloud service. And so the first pillar of the value prop is really around delivering a great productivity experience. This is about the market-leading email experience, the market-leading conferencing and collaboration experience, and the productivity experience, all integrated and working together on the latest and greatest technologies. It allows people to work smarter. It allows them to work more efficiently. And more the conversations that we're having with customers is around the value of your employees' time. How much is an hour worth of your employees' time? If they can save 10 minutes, 15 minutes on every project because the tool set is available, it's ready for them, it's simple, it's easy to use, it's intuitive, and it gives them the power they need, what kind of value does that create? So the first and most important anchor of Office 365 is really about the productivity experience. It's also, of course, critical to deliver that anywhere. And we think about anywhere access in a couple of ways. And one of them is around delivering a consistent experience across the PC, the mobile device, and the browser. Now, Exchange represents a great example of this. If you think about Exchange and Outlook, today many people use Outlook as their primary mail client on their PC. It's very rich, it's very fast, you're able to search, mail, sort, and really kind of get through your email very quickly within the Outlook client. But you may not always have access to your PC. So being able to go to Outlook web app and access that exact same information, organized in the same fashion, flagged in the same way through a browser is also a key element of the solution. And then, of course, delivering the same thing on a mobile device. And so ActiveSync being the protocol that we use to talk to many, many mobile devices out there, from the iPhone to Android phones to Windows phones, is really key. And so being able to deliver your email and calendars and contacts on your PC in any browser that's not your PC or your mobile device is a key part of the value prop. Of course, tools that are familiar to you are also important. As I think about this multi-generational workforce, you've got people that are very used to and familiar with things like the Office applications. They're familiar with Word. They're familiar with Outlook, with Excel, with PowerPoint. They know where things are. They know how to use them. They know how to create documents. And so that ends up being a very, very powerful part of the value prop, is you get the benefits of the cloud from an economics perspective, from a feature function perspective, but it's all done in a very familiar environment. So it reduces the learning curve. Now, no cloud solution in the enterprise would be complete without robust security and reliability. And one of the things that we certainly spend a tremendous amount of energy on is ensuring that our solution meets the needs of the large enterprise, has the robust reliability, has the right level of security, the right level of privacy controls. Because ultimately, as customers want to take advantage of those economic benefits of moving to the cloud, they also are very, very concerned, of course, around data protection and privacy. And that becomes a key part of the investment strategy here. And it's actually also a key reason why we have two distinct strategies at Microsoft. One, live services delivered towards consumers, and two, online services like Office 365, Windows Azure, Windows Intune, really focused on the enterprise because they have different needs and there's a different level of investment and reliability and security on those enterprise solutions. And then finally, as you start to think about delivering technology into business customers, organizations, and enterprises, making sure that IT still has that ability to control the solution is really critical. And so we've made significant investments in Office 365 to support hybrid scenarios, where some users may actually remain on-premises in your server environment while other users move to the cloud. Or some applications may run on-premises while others run in the cloud. But you want that to look like a seamless environment to your end users. If you have some users that are running on an Exchange server on-prem, you want them to be able to share FreeBusy with those users that are running in the cloud. That may be from a new acquisition or maybe from a remote office. And so making sure that we put IT in control of and have that choice of how and when they use the cloud and doing it in a seamless fashion is a key part of the investment. So that's really what Office 365 is about. It's about delivering the best productivity experience. It's about making it available anywhere through familiar tools for your end users so the learning curve is shorter, but doing so with high reliability and security and then a focus on control from IT. Now, there's also recently, we announced yesterday at the conference a paper that we commissioned with Accenture. And what this paper shows is also great environmental benefits of moving to the cloud. And so what we did is we did a study where we took Exchange, SharePoint, and CRM, and we compared the environmental impact or the CO2 impact of running that on premises versus taking advantage of the cloud service. And what we saw was actually quite compelling. Is even for large businesses, they could expect to see a 30% reduction in their CO2 emissions when they move those applications to the cloud. And then in small business, much, much higher, as high as 90% reduction in CO2 emissions by moving to the cloud. And so you may ask yourself, well, that's pretty dramatic. How does that work? What are the key drivers there? And the analogy I would use is public transportation. If you think about a bus today, sure, a bus has more emissions than a car, but I can put a lot more people on a bus, and so the overall CO2 emissions for an individual user is much, much lower on a full bus than it is on a car. And that's the exact same phenomenon here, where things like dynamic provisioning of users or storage in the environment, things like multi-tenancy, virtualization, being able to really maximize the utilization on every server, and then deeper investments on just more robust and efficient data centers really delivers not only the economic benefits that I think are pretty well understood with the cloud, but it also delivers environmental benefits in the form of reduced CO2 emissions. So this was a pretty interesting study that we're excited to publish yesterday and announce, because I think it adds even more energy to cloud as a key delivery of technology. And for the last couple of years, many of our European customers have actually been using this as part of our decision criteria. Scandic is an example of one of those. But we're seeing it in Europe, we're seeing it here in the U.S., and it's one of those extra benefits of the cloud that's pretty exciting. Now, we've got a lot of other customers out there today. We've got thousands and thousands of small businesses that are taking advantage of our technology. But we also have large customers and large enterprises. Most recently, customers like Volvo have stepped in and taken advantage of our cloud services. And so there's a lot of large enterprises, like I said before, that are thinking about, hey, this is mission-critical technology. It doesn't differentiate my business. I need to be on the latest stuff. Let me put my IT, my human capital, somewhere else, but I want to make sure that I've got the best possible collaboration solution I have. And so they're coming to Microsoft to look at those solutions. And if I just kind of double-click into a couple examples, Coca-Cola Enterprises is a great example of a very large business that went to our cloud services as a way of delivering new collaboration tools into their end-user environment, specifically SharePoint for things like intranet sites, email from Exchange, etc. And they really saw this as a great way of delivering new features and new capabilities to their broad set of end users very, very quickly. Case of Starbucks, this was about actually reaching a set of users that they hadn't reached before. So they've now been able to put cloud services and deliver that via a PC in every store across the country. So now the store manager has access to email, they have access to SharePoint sites, and they can better collaborate and communicate back with the home office. And this is something that really wasn't possible before with their normal infrastructure. So they used the cloud to reach new users. And then Godiva Chocolates, they're a more recent customer, and part of their decision criteria was around that seamless experience between the PC and the browser, as well as a familiar experience. So they saw the economic benefits of the cloud, and they knew they were going to save money. But they wanted to make sure they did so in a way with a tool set that was familiar to their users. And so that ability of having Outlook and an Outlook web app and Exchange look and feel the same was a key part of their decision criteria. And so we're excited to also have them as a customer. So as you can see, there's lots of different reasons why customers are making this move and going to the cloud. But in all cases, they're seeing great benefits. Now, for us and for customers, certainly for customers, there's additional benefits of the cloud outside of just economic benefits. And I think you've probably seen a lot of the charts and the graphs this week about the economic benefits. But one of the things that's also interesting is that ability to deliver continuous investment and new features more efficiently. For our customers, every 90 days they see a new set of features and new capabilities that they can take advantage of. So their service is always getting better. But internally, it's also been very interesting for the engineering teams because they now have the ability to create a feature and then in a very short period of time land that feature with our customers. And that's actually created a tremendous amount of energy within the engineering ranks as they think about, hey, this feature I just designed and developed, it's now in the hands of customers far faster than it was before in a traditional software model. And that drives a much tighter connection with our customers, and that they're giving us much better feedback on our products, and the overall quality is improving. So it's a very, very exciting cycle for us. And so as I think about what's new in Office 365, one of the core things is around delivering Office, the rich client, as a per-user per month subscription. So part of this movement to the cloud is also business model changes for Microsoft, which is exciting, and it allows us to better align what we're doing with what customers need. It's about delivering the web applications on Office in the browser to customers. So Word in the browser, Excel in the browser, OneNote in the browser, and I'll show that to you here in a few minutes. A lot of great new capabilities with Exchange Online as part of Office 365, voicemail, unified messaging, archiving for compliance and e-discovery, and then advancements in our retention policies to allow you to really control your environment and think about scenarios where you might not want certain emails going from one group to another because of regulatory reasons. SharePoint has really taken a big step forward in this release with SharePoint Online. And we're really actually, when you combine SharePoint with Lync, you can start to really deliver that Facebook in the enterprise kind of experience that IT can control. So My Sites is a great example of where individual employees are able to put their information, what they're working on, who they are, who they work for, on a simple website, and then that's discoverable by everybody in the organization, either searching through SharePoint sites or through Lync and instant messaging. And so there's a great new feature that's part of the Lync experience called Skill Search, where if you're looking to an answer to a particular question within your organization, you can just type in Skill Search, hey, does anyone know anything about Office 365? And you'll see a list of all the people who have designated themselves experts or knowledgeable on that topic. And you can see that based on them providing the designation or based on some of the documents that they may have stored in their My Sites or they may have authored that, again, is part of that SharePoint environment. So starting to bring some of these new solutions together to create an integrated experience really allows us to deliver the products as they were intended. Of course, Lync becomes the future not only of instant messaging and presence, but of conferencing, of video, chat, and voice, and it's all part of the service. So we're very excited about Lync as part of that, Office 365. And then not only have we made new improvements in the applications, but we've also made big investments in the infrastructure, a new user experience, a new IT Pro experience, and a new identity system that allows you to have single sign-on and federation between your on-premises directory and the cloud. Key ask for customers that we've had for the last couple of years is that ability to let me just log into my machine and then let me be logged into my cloud services. Don't have different passwords. Don't make me sync it up. Don't make me go to a web page and enter my password again. Just make it work for my end users. Because when you do that, you make the cloud far more accessible. You make these applications far more accessible to my end users if we don't have those barriers. So those are key parts of our investment in this next release that we're very excited about. And so rather than continuing to talk about it, I'm going to go ahead and give you a short demonstration of some of the new capabilities that we will have in Office 365. So the first thing I want to do is I want to show you the IT Pro experience. And as you can see here, this is an IT Pro admin experience, and it's pretty big improvements over what we have today. You can see the ability to manage users, create some security groups, add domains. You can see that there's a series of resources that give you information about how to use the service, as well as direct access to the services themselves. So if I look at something like, say, Exchange Online, I'm able to click into the Exchange environment. I now see the Exchange admin console. And much like I can on premises, where I can really kind of turn the knobs and turn the dials, I've got the ability to do really a lot of rich things here within the environment. I can do email migration. I have the ability to control who has access to what part of the service, right? So role-based access and auditing capability, again, very important in compliance situations and a key investment. The ability to do some of these rules and add rules and domain control journaling for archiving solutions, and then certainly, of course, being able to set up my unified messaging so I can actually get voicemails in my inbox as part of Exchange Online. And so hopefully what you see here is all the power that is available today as Exchange Server we've also made now available in the cloud as a cloud service. And as an IT pro in, say, a very small business that normally wouldn't be able to deploy the technology, it's easily accessible. For a large organization that needs the kind of features that I'm showing, the kind of compliance features, again, it's all available as a cloud service. So that's pretty exciting. So that gives you a sense, a quick flyby of the IT pro environment. Now, we've also created an end-user environment, and there's an end-user portal for Office 365 for your end users. And what's nice about this is it gives them a starting point to go reach their applications. So here you can see my welcome page. I've got the ability to go into the Outlook web app. I can get my Linux client set up, go to my SharePoint sites. And then also, I have the ability to download and start to use the Office client. So again, if someone is subscribed to Office 365, they have the Office client as part of some of our service plans, and you can go ahead and download that and take advantage of that. So I've actually done that already. And so what I wanted to do here is walk you through a little scenario where I'm actually using OneNote to take some notes on my trip down here to the Cloud Expo. So here's OneNote. It's part of the Office client experience. It's a rich application. I'm not going to go into OneNote too much, but let me go ahead and just take a note here and talk about the event. So, we've got a great audience. There's really some high energy here in the room. And I think what's actually most important, just so you all know, is that we have very high scores at the end of this, okay? I just want to make sure everyone knows that. Okay, so I'm able to take some notes in the rich client. I can take advantage, there's images, there's all kinds of things I can do here with the OneNote. But I may not always have access to my client. So if I come back to my Office 365 environment and I go to my SharePoint team site, I can see that I've also have that document here in my SharePoint site. So now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and open this document here in the web application. And as you can see, here's the same exact document. It looks the same. I've got the note that I just added, and it's all synchronized. So I've got PC and browser working together. Oh, and wait. Oh, here's Jake. And Jake's someone I work with in my group. He's reaching out to me in Link. Great presentation. Yeah, thanks. Actually, Jake's sitting right here in front. And he's okay. Oh, and that's right. So I wasn't here yesterday. Jake was here, and he was able to take some notes from yesterday's conference. So he's going to go ahead and go to the web app and add his notes from yesterday's session so we can kind of both collaborate on that. So let me go ahead and go back to the web app here. Let me go ahead and refresh those notes, and boom. There you see Jake has added those notes to the web app. And one of the things that's actually pretty cool is if I switch over to View and I show authors, I can now see who was actually editing and adding information to the web app, right? So I added some stuff, Jake added some items, and as you start to think about a collaboration experience where you've got multiple people working together, it's nice to be able to see who contributed what and who added what. So very nice capability as part of the web application. So that's very cool. I can see the web app there. But sometimes I actually don't have access to a PC either. And I need to access the information on a mobile device. So what I've got here is I've got a Windows Phone 7, and I'm going to show you what it looks like to do OneNote here on the phone. So let me go ahead and plug in my little video deal here so you can see the phone. Everyone see that? Excellent. So I'll go ahead and log in to the phone, and you can see there's... if you haven't had a chance to play with one of these new Windows Phone 7s, it's really, really exciting. It's a great way of kind of blending your personal life with your business life, sharing calendars, combination of games, etc. But let me go ahead and go to the Office Hub. And this is where I can actually get access to documents. So if I go across the hub, you see some notes and some documents and SharePoint. And so having that ability to actually access SharePoint documents is actually a really pretty cool thing. So, missed that there. So if I go ahead to the SharePoint site, I can see my shared document space, and then I can see this Cloud Expo document. And I had looked at it a few seconds ago, but let me go ahead and refresh that. There's my trip notes, and we're going to go ahead and sync that down. And you can see now, here's the document, and you can see the notes that Jake added in there. You can see my little great audience, high energy, very good scores, ... in the bottom. So again, I've been able to synchronize from the client to the browser down to my mobile device, all here in real time. But, I want to make sure that I can add a little bit of something else here, and I want to really capture the moment for the audience. So let me go ahead and take a picture. Now, I want everyone to, smile or wave or do something. Give me something. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I got a picture, a little bit blurry, but you know what? We'll just go with it. Let me go ahead and accept that picture, right? So now I've added it to the OneNote. You can see it there in my trip notes. There's the picture. And now let me go ahead and sync that back up. So I'll let that sync, and we'll go ahead and sync that up. And that's that experience of, again, phone, PC, browser. Let me go back here and show you just really quickly. Here's my web app. And here is my rich client. And then if the demo gods are with us, we will quickly see we're still syncing here. Boom. There's the picture there. And there's the picture there. So, PC, phone, browser, real-time, in sync, multiple authors, kind of all working together. Very accessible, very easy as part of a cloud service. So that's Office 365. That's just a small part of it. Again, as you're looking at thinking about OneNote across these applications. So what's next? What's the roadmap? What's coming? So right now we're in beta. We've launched the beta here last week or earlier this week. We're in 13 markets, 7 languages. We're starting to get customers on it, kicking the tires, and starting to interact with the new experience. Next year, we'll have general availability. We'll be in 40 markets across 20 languages, and that's when the steam really starts to go. We're getting very excited about this as it starts to go worldwide. And then over the course of next year, after we become generally available, we'll be updating the service on a quarterly basis. And then we'll start moving our existing BPOS customers over to the service. And one of the key benefits of how we've approached this for organizations and for enterprises is we give them choice and flexibility around when they want to move. Now, some enterprises are going to want to move right away, and they say, hey, give me it as soon as it's available. I want to go ahead and move, and we'll work with them on that. But there's others that'll say, no, wait a second. I'm in retail. You just made the new version available to me. It's December 10th. The last thing I want to do is change or update my email system on December 10th as a retail customer. And so having that ability to really kind of choose when you're going to have a major upgrade, when you're going to have changes to the end user experience is something that we provide as part of our strategy. And so we think that that's a very important element to enterprise organizations who have a large staff of users. And when you have this kind of change, you want to be careful about when you land that change so that you can fully take advantage of it. So that's kind of a roadmap, what's happening. I think one of the other things that's part of our story that we feel great about is our partner ecosystem. Our partners have really embraced the cloud over the last 3 or 4 years. We've got over 16,000 partners that are out there selling and talking about our BPOS solution today, and they're getting ready to go out and start talking about Office 365. And I think what's important, too, is you think about the cloud and you think about taking advantage and starting to use it as an organization. Although some things become a lot more efficient, you're not buying servers anymore. You're not deploying and installing software on those servers anymore. There's things that get simplified. There's still part of the life cycle that doesn't change. You still got to plan. Hey, what am I going to do? What's the architecture look like? What stays on-prem? What goes in the cloud? What applications do I want to leverage and move to the cloud? Which applications do I need to keep in my own environment for policy reasons or legacy reasons or technology reasons? And so having a partner to help you plan, help you evaluate your strategy, help you make the right purchase decision. But then as you start to think about things like deployment, it's actually important to have a partner who can really help you move from, say, an on-premises notes environment into an Exchange Online environment and move that email and move those applications in a way that minimizes disruption in your organization and allows you then to take advantage of the benefits of the cloud. And so we're very invested in training and readying our partners, and we're very invested with our partners to really help with that deployment and that migration and that movement to the cloud. And I'm highlighting a couple of the really key partners here in the U.S. who have gone the extra mile to really learn and deeply understand what it means to deploy in the cloud, what it means to migrate to the cloud, and what it means to create the right architecture within your environment as you go to the cloud. So partners are a key part of the story, and it's a key part of our value prop and strategy. So finally, why Microsoft? Why is Microsoft a compelling cloud vendor? We've certainly read the articles over the years and heard the pundits saying, Microsoft's still a software company. They don't understand the cloud. They're not interested in the cloud. And I think, hopefully, over the course of the last couple days, you've seen a different story. You've seen an understanding of the benefits of the cloud, an understanding of the power of the cloud, how it impacts customers, how it impacts our own engineers internally, and how they think about building their solutions and what it means. The enterprise credibility that we have, we think, is an important factor and why we think Microsoft is a great cloud provider. We've got over 40 million paid users today in our cloud services for businesses. So it's really, really a key part of our business, and it's a key part of where we're going. Certainly, we've got long-standing enterprise credibility and a long-standing experience in working with our customers, and we think that's also a key part of moving to the cloud in the enterprise space and in the business space. Being thoughtful about when you move, how you move, thinking about those hybrid scenarios is a key part of our value prop. We also think that rich and familiar is important. Thinking about that end user experience as they start to get a hold of these tools. Are these tools that they know how to use today? What's the training going to be like as you introduce a new experience? Can they intuitively use them? And we think, again, that's an area where we really differentiate. Rich and familiar, not only on the desktop, but also in the browser and also in the mobile device. That ability to think across all three is a key part of the story. And then finally, a vision. We think we've got a great vision that includes our partner community. It includes IT having control of their environment. It includes thinking through hybrid scenarios and making sure that you're using the cloud in the right way. There's a huge move to the cloud. All the data suggests that it's going there. And there's sort of the inevitable economics will drive more and more applications to the cloud. But doing so in a way that makes sense for you as a customer, that makes sense for you as a partner, is really, really important. And we think we provide the most choice and flexibility as you think about that movement to the cloud. So if you're interested in more information, you can go to the website and learn about Office 365. You can certainly talk to your account manager or partner. We think we've got a great new offering that we've introduced. We're excited to see more and more customers on it. And what I wanted to leave you with now in the last 2 minutes is just hearing from our customers. We do what we call a technology preview group. We bring them to Redmond every year, even ahead of the beta. We give them access to the bits. We go through a lot of sessions. And here's just a short video with some of their feedback on what they were seeing around Office 365 about a month ago.
We're going to be looking at the whole suite from the Link Server 2010 capabilities, the Exchange capabilities, and certainly the SharePoint capabilities, as well as the Office. As new products come along, we're going to be looking at the full suite as well.
The key thing will be the ADFS tie-in with the next version so that I can take all of these user accounts and tie them all together so I don't have a user account for TFS and a user account for email. I can tie all those user accounts together. That's the next thing, this whole federated authentication piece of V2 is really going to be cool.
The interface is so much nicer now, so much more powerful. The archiving and the migration tools, I think, are excellent.
As a nonprofit, we don't have a lot of dollars to build out data centers, to maintain large amounts of bandwidth, to constantly upgrade and patch servers. So moving those services up into with a trusted organization like Microsoft really kind of frees up my IT services group to focus on our customers.
We've got the ability for P2P, audio-visual. That's going to help our business integrate much more closely with our customers and our suppliers. We've got online sign-on. I can't think of a user who won't be pleased about getting rid of all the post-it notes around their screens with the different passwords they have on.
The Exchange services that are coming out are extremely exciting to me. Some of the ones that I'm really looking forward to are The voicemail services, being able to integrate that, so cool. And it's going to be really nice to be able to do that in the office. The archiving feature, being able to work that in with from the desktop side to the online side, having that match up will be extremely useful.
We've experienced a lot of growth in the last year, a lot of success, and what that's done is put a huge weight on the administrators to manage the day-to-day operations. So one of the really cool things is the ability to offload that to you guys, let you handle the day-to-day operations, and who better to support an Exchange server than Microsoft.
We've actually migrated 3 or 4 clients off of Gmail. They realized that they missed a lot of the features that Exchange has, like the global address list, the rich calendaring, the delegate access, the Outlook client.
If I had to sum up Microsoft Online Services, what's important to us is reliability, wherever, whenever, on whatever platform we need to access our email at a cost that we just can't manage to match internally.
For a small business, the service is actually a perfect way to start. You can get started, in a day. That day you can start. I think the key is to be able to come out of the gate with the same tools that the big guys have day one.
All right, well, listen, that concludes my session this morning. Thanks for your attendance. Thanks for paying attention. I hope it was informative. And again, I can't say enough how excited we are about the cloud and some of these new innovations like Office 365. So please enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you.
Thanks very much, Eron Kelly. Red Hat is up next. We'll try and do it as